Good morning, my beautiful diamonds and my Teletubbies and my Hershey Kisses. SheilaTruelove here this morning. And I was looking at, I always like to get up in the morning and I like looking at my Dr. Phil because he is just totally awesome. I know there's some things that he says that I don't always fully agree with, but I'm looking at this child who is a son who has rage issues, and the mother, and so much for the father. What kind of father is he? I don't even have a clue. This kid, all he wants to do is hang out on his phone. He refuses to go to school. I think he's 16. He refuses to go to school. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't help out around the house with the chores. And he has nothing but rage. He gets up in his parents' face and he talks about how you always trigger my rage. You get on my nerve. You make me sick. I just want to punch you in your face. And he got his fists all up in his parents' child. Would that ever be SheilaTruelove? Never me, baby. Because let me tell you my belief and my motto. If you can't abide by the rules in this house, you won't be in this house. It's just that simple. And I'm a firm believer in what the Bible teaches at Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24, where it says, spare the rod and you will spoil the child. That is a very, very popular saying that comes where? From the Bible. He who spares the rod hates his child, but he who loves him is diligent to discipline them. Now, this is coming straight from the Bible. That's Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. And then we have to take note of what Proverbs chapter 23, verse 13 and 14 says. It says, do not withhold correction from a child, for if you beat him with a rod, he will not die. You shall beat him with a rod and deliver his soul from hell. Now, I don't promote beating a kid, like some people, they just take it to the extreme. That's ridiculous. But to have like a little paddle or a belt or what have you to discipline this child, who knows more about humans than the one who created us and who designed us? But yet you have parents, you can no longer discipline your children, or you're the one getting locked up. You're the one going to jail. And that's ridiculous. It really is. I feel, and then you wonder why women are saying, I don't want children. I'm not having any kids. No. You're not allowed to discipline them. You're not allowed to say anything to them because you trigger their anger. Well, honey, you will always be, you're not going to be triggered by me. I have a video that I'm going to share with you. It's from my son who says, Mom, I now understand all that you went through. And he's on, it's L Majesty. L-Majesty. Check it out if you get a chance. Where my son has an appreciation to his mother. There were times, and I was a single mother. I was married, lost my virginity to my husband. You know the way it's supposed to be. I had my children within wedlock. I ended up being a single baby mama still. So I had to know how to stand up and then I have a son and I had a daughter. My daughter, please. Teenagers, not just my daughter, my son too. He had his moments, but I had to know how to stand my ground. I remember what used to work on them when they were younger. I used to tell them, if you're not going to listen to your mom, I can't be your mommy anymore. I just can't be your mommy. And that used to work a lot. That worked for a while when they felt that, Mom, you can't be my mommy. Oh, that's not cool. And that worked. For a while anyway. And then when they became 14, oh my God. I remember I gave them a curfew. You're supposed to be at this house, in this house, at this so-and-so hour, not a minute past. They messed up, okay? The first time, stand before me and tell me what's up. Because I'm the type that I always want to know why people do what they do and why you didn't do what I asked. So the first time you got away with that, well, okay, I hear you. What have you? Don't let it happen again. It happened again. They came in after I locked them out. You were not allowed to come into the house. No, you were not. They slept on the staircases. I lived in it was a nice place. It was like a condominium. So they slept on the staircase all that night. And then when I let them in the next day, It never happened again. Because you see that I'm not playing with you. If you can't abide, since you think you know everything, go on out there and let me see, do you? Like I'm looking at this kid on Dr. Phil who's given his parents such a hard way to go, and the father is such a wuss. He's never hardly home. Even though Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4, let me get that for you. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4, it clearly says, you fathers are supposed to go on raising up these children. This is not for the mother to do. Ephesians, bear with me please. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4, just so you can see, I'm being honest with you. You see what it says here? What's the first word you see there? Fathers, don't make your children angry. Now, you have to know how to take that in the proper context, because giving them a curfew makes them angry. But it's talking about be reasonable. It says, fathers, don't make your children angry. But check this out. Fathers, raise them with the kind of teaching and training you learn from the Lord. But you notice here it says, fathers raise them. That's not for a mother to do. Let me get it from, that's from the Easy Read version. Now let's get it from the King James version. And it says, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and the admonition of the Lord. There you go. You notice how it's saying again, fathers. Now let's try the New Living Translation. Let's try different translations. New Living Translation. Here we go. It's just beautiful. Fathers, here we go again, all throughout the Bible, it's telling these fathers to do this job, not women. You can pause the screen. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. That, again, don't take it out of context. You tell them that you have to go to school. That triggers their anger. You tell them that you have a curfew. That triggers their anger. It's talking about be reasonable. Fathers, don't provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with the discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. But yet you have these fathers leaving these women stuck, raising these goddamn hard-headed, ungrateful kids. Because when they grow up to be adults, I notice how, especially daughters, my mother's toxic, my mother ain't no good, my mother's garbage. I listen to a lot of women who talk so badly about their mothers, who stayed on the job, and they're going to be punished for that. You see, they have no loyalty and integrity, so they're going to get a man who has no loyalty and integrity. Why should he be faithful to you when you weren't faithful to your own mother? Okay? It works that way. Karma loses nobody's address, and you need to know that. Anyway, I have to run, my darlings. But like I said, if you can't abide by the rules in this house, you won't be in this house. See how simple that is? That's how it works. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.